My first time seeing a Lords of Acid show was in 2017. Then I saw them again in 2019 with a different singer. In 2024, I saw them with yet another singer, Gigi, who I'd shared an online friendship with. Good times were had at the Charlotte and Minneapolis dates. Gigi suggested I go see the final tour stop in Los Angeles, and I was feeling impulsive anyway. But when I flew out there, it turned out Gigi flew back to Belgium after the San Francisco show. 5 singers, including myself, got to fill in for that show. I crashed on the band's tour bus couch that night after singing Pink Floyd duets with Praga Khan. The next day, I accompanied the Belgians of the bus to the airport, not going to my gate until I knew they were good to go. Had it not been for Gigi's hospitality for the 2 shows I got to see her, none of this would have happened.
Now this looks and smells delightful. Thank you, Gigi.
You're welcome.
With the amount of fun I had, I couldn't wait for another tour to be announced. In the interim, I'd befriended an acid head from Indiana named Christy. She saw videos of me singing in Los Angeles in a dress and makeup. Curiosity sparked her desire to message me, and we hit it off. When the Praise the Lords tour was announced, we planned a road trip where we would follow them from Detroit to Philadelphia. That's 6 shows we'd take turns driving for. She would also help Dietrich sell merch some nights, as well as run the occasional errand for him. I enjoyed the spectacle of each show and the uniqueness that each city brought. So let's start in Detroit, where the games began. I flew out of Greensboro and landed in Detroit a few hours before the doors opened. This was where Chrissy and I first met in person. Going on vacation following a band on tour as your first meeting is quite unusual. A friend of hers suggested that I might tie her up and kidnap her. There was even a brief moment where I was thinking, well, what if I get kidnapped? But we'd been talking frequently enough where we could confirm each other's personalities. The Magic Stick was our first tour stop. We walked behind the venue, saw the tour buses, and knocked on the door for the Lord's bus. Praga answered the door. Immediately, he loved my glow-in-the-dark Alien Sex Fiend shirt. He said, I put out It the Album on my label back in the 80s. Nick Fiend and I were tight back in the day. That information was new to me, and I loved the Alien Sex Fiend and Lords of Acid connection. It was nice to get reacquainted with some familiar faces, as well as meeting some new ones. Before the meet and greets was when I met the new Acid Queen. I'd seen Carla Harvey and her old band, Butcher Babies, in Wilmington, North Carolina when they opened for Gwar in 2015. At that same Wilmington show, Carla and Heidi were wearing pasties on stage. Some lady waited in the merch line just to tell Carla something to the effect of, "You're everything wrong with how women in metal are seen." That didn't go over well. I knew Carla had a strong voice and a great stage presence, so I couldn't wait to hear what she could do with Lords of Acid. Opening these shows was Lucia Cifarelli on her first solo tour. Then there was Little Miss Nasty, a burlesque troupe with rock, metal, and industrial music as part of the performance. I'd seen them open for Lords in 2019. Then at the infamous LA show in 2024, Gina was one of the fill-in singers to grace the stage. There were also DJs between the sets. There was DJ Alec, who was 7 months pregnant. The other DJ was Chris Smack. Several months prior, I met him at a goth night in Brooklyn. A friendly crowd patronized the event, and I quite enjoyed the pizza downstairs. Speaking of crowds, Carla had family in the area, and a lot of them came to the show. Yep, that's her mom dancing on stage. Galen played the drums with tight, energetic precision. Dietrich loomed as a rock and roll demon, keeping the rhythm down. Creighton hyped up the crowd on guitar. Sometimes he walked around the room with a wireless pack. Carla danced around and was super engaged with the audience. I could tell she was happy to be there. Actually, she requested The Power Is Mine be added to the set list. Get Up, Get High also graced my ears. That's 2 songs I'd never heard them play live. Crowd pleasers like the Crab Louse, Lover, I Sit on Acid, and Rubber Doll were also played. Out Comes the Evil was an exciting encore song, though my going nuts over it each night would eventually lead to injury. That was a good first night with this new lineup, but I knew that there was still plenty more fun to be had. On the bus after the show, Praga told tales of playing illegal raves early in his career. His projects would go to whatever city they were told to go to without being given an address. Then they would ride around with the windows down, listening for music. If they heard loud techno music in the distance, that's how they knew where they were supposed to play. The drive from Detroit to Cleveland was about 3 hours.
Oh wait, we're in fucking Cleveland, damn. Here we are in Cleveland.
The venue insisted on having their people sell merch, so Christy got the night off. Cleveland's Globe Iron was a newer venue. The stage was higher than Detroit, and it didn't have foundations blocking my view of the stage. There was an opening band, Tomorrow's Ghosts, a Cleveland band that described themselves as postmodern industrial music. For this show, my outfit was a little insane. I was stone cold sober when I put it on. Part of the fun of a Lords of Acid show is the crazy costumes and looks. The band even encouraged people to dress as nuns on social media. Shows like these give leeway to dress how you wouldn't normally dress. Lords had always been a sex-positive band. Some people have said Lords concerts were safe places to express their sexuality. It's kind of like going to see Rocky Horror Picture Show. Actually, the first time I'd ever had makeup on for a show was for the LA show the year before. That was when Praga's wife, Enya, did my makeup. That opened the gates for me doing makeup and special outfits for shows and club nights. My slutty wizard look got a lot of compliments. I was often told, "I wish I had your courage." But the sexuality thing is only one aspect of Lords of Acid. A more broad generalization of it is that it's just about having fun. Since Little Miss Nasty's dance moves often involved crouching and crawling, it could be hard to see them on the smaller stages unless you were in the front row. That wasn't an issue at this venue. The sound and lights were excellent at the Globe Iron. A bigger room to walk around in meant I could socialize more freely. With Lords of Acid, a bigger stage meant more people could come up and dance with them when they played Pussy. Creighton's daughter was at the show too, taking pictures. With the venue size and the sound system, it felt like the band was a little more wide open compared to the night before. Carla's voice was strong and controlled, but very rock and roll, baby. Yes, I got up and danced on stage when they played Pussy. And yes, I removed the wizard robe and did a nice ass shake for a lot of screaming people, especially women, in the audience. I'm not sorry! Another awesome night in the books. Christy and I got back to the hotel and the shower water was cold. She called the front desk about it, and apparently the hotel turned the hot water heater off. After all that dancing and sweating, we had to wait till morning to get cleaned up. I pressed my ass cheeks up against all the mirrors in the room. That was my message to the hotel. The drive from Cleveland to Harrisburg took over 5 hours. That day we drove through the mountains in West Virginia. A nice view. It was an off day for the tour, and Christy and I mainly went shopping and hung out at the hotel.
And our acid queen, Carla, likes Swedish fish, so I'm gonna grab some of these. Packing gifts for Carla Harvey.
This one has skulls on it. There's 2 rows of skulls. It's kind of a slouch hat, so it's great to put on if you got a bad hair day or you just want something that's warm, which you're going in warm states, but this fall you will love this. And then this is Typo Negative inspired because I know Carla loves Typo Negative, Unfortunately, this is a little bit big, but I think you could turn that into a like a crop top thing. You just cut the toes off, you cut the crotch out and put it on, and it's like a top. So you could do that with it. That.
Very nice.
And this one I gotta be careful with because the feathers come off, is the shawl. And it has skulls on it. It's called the Lost Souls shawl. Everybody's favorite guy.
Now look at this. There's a bat right there.
Yep.
No wonder he likes it so much.
Yep. And then this one.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Is for Enya. And I've already shown this one in a couple of different ones. It's the same as Carla's, but it's white to match her hair that she does on stage, which I thought was cool. And then this little hat that's my own stitch. So.
Nice.
Here I am at the hotel, the day of the Harrisburg show. I am doing a practice run for a new makeup look that I've never tried before. So first of all, I have some black eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, on the eyes and for the outline of my mouth. I have some blue lip gloss that is blended in with some sparkly blue eyeshadow. Set eyeshadows on the eyes right now, and I have a little bit of eyebrow pencil on just to darken my eyebrows a little bit. I'm really enjoying this look. Looks like 70s Bowie. Unfortunately, I suspect I had a bad reaction to the makeup. My eyes watered all night. When I took everything off, my eyes felt quite raw. All right, now let's flip that sign over, see what's on the other side. There she is. I was at the rail this time. This was as up close as I got to see anybody for these shows. Each night, Lucia's snake-like movements and piercing eyes gave a commanding stage presence. She sang songs from her solo albums without the need of a band behind her. Little Miss Nasty was fun to watch. I imagined it took some serious upper and lower body strength to be able to do some of the stuff they did. Although their lower body strengths were quite obvious. I asked Gina how they were able to keep it up night after night. She said, "We do this type of thing most of the year. We're used to it." There was a bit where Gina lit up a candle and did some, suggestive things with it. She threw me the lighter and gave me the candle. Thank you, Gina.
Here they come. Big Lords of Acid fans. Can we give them a round of applause?
Of the interesting things that happened in Harrisburg, Carla called a couple on stage.
So I heard that, you had something special around here tonight.
You are my soulmate. We need to walk into eternity together. I fucking love you. And really love you.
Make sure it's official.
Many happy years! Many happy years!
Even at a Lords of Acid show. Go home and have some rough sex.
Fuck yeah!
During Rubber Doll, I looked over after a minute and it looked like a couple guys were arguing over the doll. It was supposed to just be bounced around, though people sometimes held on to it for too long. The song called for Death to the Doll, and Sex Bomb Annie got deflated early. So we were bouncing this limp, pathetic PVC around for most of the song. It's a good thing no one tried to stick their weenie in it. Carla jumped into the crowd to sing and dance with them. For many of these shows, she'd stand on the barrier and have someone hold her up. I gave myself mild whiplash from headbanging too hard for Out Comes the Evil. My neck hurt for days. Keep in mind, my eyes were already hurting from the makeup. Oh, the injuries that great music brings.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
I'd eaten a lot of Rosa Rosa pizza as a teenager while visiting family in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was close enough I just had to make a stop. The pizza placed in front of me at the table had meat on it. What I thought was my meat lover's pizza was actually a cauliflower pizza that Chrissy ordered for Dietrich. They had to make another one. So I accidentally ate Dietrich's pizza, but fear not. Dietrich still got some good eats that night. In a way, it felt like Chrissy and I were on tour ourselves. Lots of packing and unpacking. On the move with only a few hours of sleep each night, Chrissy had to be at the venues at set times to help with merch, and we had our own ailments building with each show. Plus, there were little things like the hotel washer in Harrisburg not working. Typical. But we ate great food and the drives weren't horrible. It was nice to have Chrissy there to joke around with. New Jersey was where Chrissy's friend Janice lived. Janice was coming to the New York and Philly shows. Chrissy and Janice danced to Lords of Acid in clubs together while they were in the Army. Their going to these shows together decades later was a rare instance of the longevity of friendship. I liked it. This was the only venue out of all of the shows where I got a physical ticket. A nice collectible. The crowd this time was an odd mix. While there were friendly people, there were also obnoxious cokeheads as well as some tight asses. Could have been Maui Wowie's influence, but the sound and the colors of the lights were really quite pleasant. Everyone did excellent that night.
Acid Queen, hello.
That was fucking amazing.
Fantastic.
Had a whole ass sandwich over there.
She's going to town on this. You worked your ass off.
Should have probably known I don't.
The next show was Washington, D.C. Janice's place in New Jersey was out of the way going to D.C., so Christy and Janice couldn't make it. Praga was kind enough to let me ride on the bus to D.C. with the band.
Let's do it.
He even handed me his sweater since it was a little cold in the front lounge. The original 930 Club building was at 930 F Street Northwest. Then in 1996, it moved to a new building on 815 V Street Northwest. Washington, D.C. had a few things going on that day. There was the military parade, which wasn't anywhere near us. Warped Tour was also going on, celebrating its 30th anniversary. When I wasn't watching anyone set up or soundcheck, I was walking around D.C. Of all the tour stops, D.C. was the easiest city to walk around in. I was able to see nice neighborhoods and absorb the culture without stress. Bands go on tour, and the time they have can be super limited. Exploring and fun time depends on if there are meet and greets, if there are any promotional appearances anyone has to make, and also what time the venue allows load-in. This was also where I got to see how fast-paced everyone had to be when it was time to work, from things like squeezing in a shower to testing guitar amps. Time has to be used wisely to set up, and then there might be a lot of sitting around for a while. So a band could play for 45 minutes or 75 minutes late in the evening, and then they have to pack everything up, get on the bus with a bunch of other people and try to sleep as much as they can, and then they have to hustle again in the next city. It's hoped that the occasional day off is enough time to recover from any ailments, sore muscles, or colds. The 930 Club's stage was on rails, meaning the stage could be moved forwards or backwards. Ideally, this means the venue can make the show look more packed than it is. For a smaller band, the stage can come forward and people would be closer together. It was a big stage, and with the balcony I could move around and take pictures from different angles. Lords of Acid at the 930 Club, a performance worth capturing. There was a pizza place across the street called Andy's. On my way there, a lovely group of people were smoking some medical-grade ganja. I vocally admired the fragrance, and they offered to share. A club down the street was having a party, but Praga and I had our own rock and roll party on the tour bus. He had been indulging in some liquids, I was stoned to the bone, and we had a good old time playing the likes of Santana, Iron Butterfly, Cream, Rory Gallagher, and Pink Floyd on the speakers in the front lounge. This went on until 4:30 in the morning.
In this, the city rule, no, it's no turn on right except for Sundays.
It's interesting.
Well, guess what? I just made it up.
Oh.
Nah.
Philadelphia, my last excursion with the Kinky Circus before I had to go home. Plus, Christy and Janice were coming back. Underground Arts had a small stage. There were also foundations and pillars in the room, so getting a clear view of the stage took some effort. TVs were there to help, but good luck seeing the stage if you're not close to it. Despite this, the place had trippy art, neon colors, black lights, and a chair with restraints. I loved it.
Hey, we are in
Philadelphia.
looking for some cigarettes.
Hard to find today for some reason.
Hey, it's Hera. 5 minutes alone. The set list was exactly the same across these 6 shows, but the room size, stage height, sound system, crowd, and city changed each night. When planning the trip, I wondered if I was going to get sick of seeing Lord so many times. Under other circumstances, I probably would have only seen them 2 or 3 times on this tour. But this was a whole vacation, and I wanted to see what would happen. It did get to where I knew what songs and routines were coming next by memory. There were things that made each show unique, and I enjoyed them all for different reasons. But crowd energy played an important role, sometimes more important than the performance itself. Larger venues and bigger crowds like in Cleveland made the show more energetic. Personally, I liked not having to look between heads and foundations to see what was happening on stage. Despite the foundations and the small stage, the Philly show felt the most intimate.
Praise the Lord! 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 Praise the Lord!
Of these 6 shows, the people of Philadelphia were the most open-minded. I met many dancers, models, kinksters, etc.
Thank you!
One lady complimented my choker. She was kind enough to give me the heart choker she was wearing, right off her neck.
You can't make this stuff up.
After the show, there was some lady outside whipping 2 guys against a wall with a belt. I will neither confirm nor deny my participation in such events. One difference from the last tour was that instead of there being 6 Belgians on the bus, Praga was the only one this time. I could tell he missed Enya, but another absence was felt from the last tour. Trudy, the dancer, lost a battle with lymphoma a couple weeks after that tour ended. She had been feeling sick before going home, and she went straight to the hospital after getting back to Belgium. From what I understood, the hospital had restrictions on who could see her. In Detroit, Praga recalled us all waiting together at the LA airport. He said, "You were one of the last people to see her alive." Before I left the Belgians at the airport that day, I told them, "Don't forget about me." As we all said our goodbyes on the bus in Philly, Praga said, "Don't forget about me." It was a fitting end to my week following the band. Christy, Janice, and I ate at Gino's the next day before our long drives back. Christy spent the night at my house, and then it was back to Indiana for her. I had a lot of organizing to do, and it took a few days for me to fully process the week I had. Well, it has been a while since the Philadelphia show. The problem with seeing Lords of Acid mid-tour is that you know that they're still out there, and that's dangerous for somebody like me who likes to travel for shows as a hobby, because after you've partied with Lords of Acid, normal life is pretty damn boring. I was greeted at the venue by Josie, the producer for the Pretty in Kink album. He also did the artwork for Smoking Hot, and redesigned the artworks of the older albums when they were remastered. The show was happening in the Portal, which was in Area 15. Projections on the wall made the place look like the Red Room. For the show, the walls would look different. This gentleman here had recently finished treatment for brain cancer.
Yes, having a badass time.
I am so glad, man.
Getting the ultimate VIP package for Lords of Acid was his way of celebrating. Among other people who were at the show was Steve, the bus driver from the tour with Gigi. I wished Christy could have been there, but I enjoyed existing in the same space and time with everyone. As for my outfit, eyeliner and the choker that was given to me in Philly. Lucia ended her first solo tour with Grace in Las Vegas. She later said in an interview that this show felt special partly because the audience was so present with the show. By this time, I was singing along with songs I didn't even know before Detroit. Hannah wasn't with Little Miss Nasty this time, but they had Ariana, a contortionist. That changed things up a bit. On top of it being special because it was the last show, there was added extravagance seeing Little Miss Nasty in this venue and moving around so much. Even after seeing them 6 other times just weeks before, I was still pretty excited for Lords of Acid.
To be out here every night with my new best friends is, I'm having the time of my life. And I hope you're having the time of your life with us too. It is our last night, so let's get crazy right now, okay?
A story was told on the tour bus before the show. When Lords of Acid were ramping back up after a hiatus in the 2000s, Deb couldn't come back because she just had a baby. Both Carla Harvey and Lacey Connor auditioned to be the new Acid Queen. Lacey got the job. She lasted 1 tour. After hearing that story, it was satisfying seeing Carla command the audience on the runway. All 3 acts took advantage of the walkway. It just made the show seem bigger. Carla had the ladies do a runway walk when Pussy was played.
You guys want to do that? Take a trip on the catwalk?
Indeed, it was a special show. There were more blow-up dolls, and the set list was slightly different. Sex Bomb was added.
Keep it going!
Praise the Lord! 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 Praise the Lord!
They went out with a bang. Just the escape I needed. That was my 7th time seeing this tour, and my 12th overall Lords of Acid show. They were now the band I'd seen the most times. And guess what else?
I got the sign.
$50 later.
So, the end of the tour. How are you feeling, man?
Goed. Ik voelde me eigen goed, heel goed. Het was een toffe tour. Heel tof. Onderweg genoten. Mooie thuis zijn we terug.
Awesome.
Goodbyes were said. People left for either home, the airport, or their hotel rooms. Vegas at night was colorful and pleasing to the eyes. Praga and I hung out in his hotel room for a while before I had to make my 6 a.m. flight. And that was it. The end of my following the tour for real. When people keep coming back to a band like Lords of Acid, even after decades, there's a reason for it. Grind on.